Welcome back. We're talking about key moments, and in the last lesson I taught you the empowerment model to help you understand what's going on during a key moment. Now I want to teach you a mindset made up of 3 core concepts so you can respond rather than just react to your key moments. And only then can you build healthy relationships and use the communication skills that I'll be teaching you. All right, so concept number 1 is awareness. Awareness is a mental state in which you're conscious, awake, present. You're paying attention to what's going on within you and around you. Awareness is putting yourself into a state from which you can make positive choices and respond rather than simply react to events. Of course, the experience of life is already going on and you have no choice about that. It just keeps coming at you, one event after another. And it includes a myriad of experiences. Some you would call joyful and others you'd call hard and sorrowful. Being aware doesn't change that. It just keeps coming at you. However, it does put you in the driver's seat. It allows you to respond proactively rather than reactively. I think of awareness as the gateway to change. You can't change if you're not aware, or whatever you're unaware of or refuse to admit. For example, I can't scrub a smudge off my face, I should say, if I don't know it's there. You can't overcome an addiction if you refuse to recognize it. You can't support a teenager if you don't see the pain in their eyes. You can't calm yourself if you refuse to admit you're angry. You can't eliminate a self-defeating belief if you're unaware of it. Being unaware is like being on automatic pilot. You can't exercise free will. Rather than making choices and responding to life in a positive way, you meander through life, allowing events and circumstances to determine your destiny. So a first step in altering how you respond to your key moments is opening your eyes. It's being conscious of the present moment, including what's happening within and around you. It's recognizing triggering events, thoughts, feelings, and your behavior, as well as their consequences. And of course, this doesn't guarantee that you'll respond in a positive way, but it opens the possibility. Concept number 2 is personal responsibility. Being responsible is seeing your part in what's happening. It's realizing that deep inside of you, deep inside of a key moment, between that inner experience and external reaction is a brief moment of choice, a moment when you choose how you'll respond rather than being on automatic pilot. Certainly other people say and do things that affect you and even trigger you. But you take ownership of your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. You keep your focus on your own choice-making ability and thereby learn to respond rather than react in a harmful way. When you take responsibility for a key moment, you reclaim your power. Now, one word of caution. Some people confuse taking responsibility for themselves with feeling over-responsible for others or outside events. They believe that the success or happiness of other people is dependent upon their actions, and when things go wrong, it's either their fault or their job to fix it. Being responsible for your own experience during your key moments is not the same as being responsible for the triggering event or for somebody else's behavior or reaction. It's important to be aware of that boundary and let that go. Grant people the right to be responsible for themselves, whether they handle that responsibility well or poorly. Self-responsibility means facing your own reactions, recognizing that you have choice about them, and letting others do the same, knowing that they're not always going to make good choices. The third concept is intent. When in a key moment, you act from one of 2 intents. One intent is to protect, and this is our natural reaction to protect ourselves, defend our egos from what's going on. Protection, even though unconscious, becomes more important than understanding or solving the problem. Protection requires that you blame others, make excuses, justify your behavior, or avoid or distract yourself from a situation. All of these responses further entrap you in the key moment. The more you protect, the more stuck you become in old habitual responses, and the more same old patterns keep showing up in your life. The second intent is to grow. And this is our desire to learn and resolve our key moments. We realize that we must understand how our own programming, rather than the triggering event, is the cause of our reactions. This requires that you experience the thoughts, sensations, and feelings and images associated with a key moment without acting them out, as I talked about in the last lecture. It helps to either process them on your own, talk about them with someone who can be a good listener, write about them in a journal, certainly be more mindful of what's going on. As you allow yourself to explore rather than dramatize, you work through your own troublesome internal reactions, and you realize that as you change your inner reactions to the triggering event, you can choose to respond more effectively to the situation that triggered your reaction in the first place. So these three concepts, awareness, responsibility, and intent, are key to making better choices during a key moment. The greater your awareness, the more you're willing to accept personal responsibility, and the more you shift your intent from that of protecting yourself to growing, the more likely you'll make different choices and overcome your key moments. So in the next lesson in this section, I'm giving you some strategies in emotional self-regulation to help calm yourself so that you can make those better choices during your key moments. We'll see you there.